So what's up with Halo Infinite? There's quite a few things that I want to talk about here today because, well, about a year ago, pretty much, I made a video called I Think Halo Infinite Will Suck. And some aspects I knew were going to happen. And other aspects about this game, I've been surprised by. Some good, some bad. I can definitely tell you this though. I set my expectations way too low. Because here's the thing, with modern first-person shooters, I don't even expect them to work day one anymore. I've been burned too many times, and that's why I don't really buy games. And thankfully this was free, so I couldn't care less if it was broken at launch or not. But other games like Battlefield 2042, I thought that was gonna be this, and thankfully it's not this. Although I have had a few connectivity errors here and there, but nothing too serious. I do have quite a long list of things I want to talk about, so I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as possible, but I still want to make sure I get my point across with enough depth so that people can understand what I'm talking about. And the first thing I want to talk about is the lack of content. The lack of content in this game is very reminiscent of the previous effort, Halo 5. How is it that you guys release 2 games in a row, with very little content, and then everybody wonders why nobody's playing your game a year after launch? Because there's nothing to do for the first year. There's nothing to do. It's a beta test. That's another thing, by the way. They had to clarify that this was a beta test. We already had 3 beta tests. Why do you need another one? Oh, it's a good thing this beta test has, the battle pass where you can buy it. That's always good, right? Gotta make sure you squeeze that extra $10 out of every little sucker. Like me. Sucker. Anyways, the lack of content is apparent right away. And I'm not even talking about the campaign. I'm not even talking about Forge or Firefight. I'll get to those later. I'm talking about when you just look at the playlists. Just so everybody knows, I'm having capture card issues, so I can't show off any gameplay, unfortunately, so I took pictures off my phone. So if you're wondering why the quality is kind of dog water, that's why. But it gets the point across. There's 2 playlists, and there's that other extra one for the event one that I'm not even going to count because, well, it's just an event. It's going to go away soon. So there's Quick Play, there's Big Team Battle, and then there's Ranked. Quick Play and Big Team Battle and Ranked, actually all of them, they just throw all the game modes into those playlists. So you can't just say, you know what, I don't feel like playing Oddball today, I'm going to play some Slayer instead. It took me over an hour to get my first Slayer match when I started playing this game. That is too damn long. Because when I don't know about everybody else, but when a new Halo game comes out, the only game mode I want to play is Slayer. Just the first day, I just want to play nothing but Slayer, get used to the mechanics and controls and everything like that. I think a lot of people can relate to that with not feeling like, I don't really want to play Oddball right now. I don't really want to play Strongholds right now. Just let me play the game mode that I want to play. And also, it's a good thing that there's no veto system or at the very least a voting system. No, there's neither. You just get paired up with a bunch of different people and then you go out to whatever game mode the game decides. Speaking of, there are no pre-game lobbies. Yet again. 3 games in a row now where we don't have pre-game lobbies. Why? Why is it so hard for you guys to understand we want pre-game lobbies? It's something that we like, so why don't you just give it to us? Is it too hard? Doesn't seem like it. Halo 2 had it back in 2004. Halo 3 had it, Reach had it, 4 had it. It all started with MCC that didn't have the pre-game lobbies. So did Halo 5, and now Infinite. The lack of playlists goes even further down the rabbit hole when you really think about it. No SWAT, no Team Snipers, no Infection, no Assault, which means no Griffball, no Juggernaut, no VIP, no Headhunter, nothing. You just get Slayer, Strongholds, Capture the Flag, Stockpile, and Oddball. You just get those 5 game modes. You don't even get to pick which one you get to play. You don't even get to veto one. The game just puts you off in there. It's like, okay, have fun. And it's such a, like, why? We figured this out 2 decades ago. Why are you making these elementary level mistakes? It's just leaving me scratching my head wondering why. Because that's the biggest problem with this game. It does some things really well, and then it just does a complete 180, and you just end up wondering, why would they do that? What were they thinking? The friends list is not in alphabetical order. Why? The theater mode only works half the time. Why? Meanwhile, all we ever did was bitch about it in Halo 5, and yet it still seems like it's a shoddy theater system. I don't understand why you guys just can't develop a good theater system. Are you only showing up for half a day of work and then going home? Is that why it's taken this long just to get any content? The most embarrassing ones especially are SWAT and snipers, because I can make those in custom games in like a minute. No shields, no radar, everyone starts with BR, no weapons or grenades on the map. Easy, done. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the progression, and it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't know whose idea it was to lock off experience behind challenges, but that was an awful idea and it's so awful that they eventually just said, hey, we'll give you experience points after every match, even though it's so minuscule it barely even matters. It's 50 experience per level, and each level, it's 50 experience you get per game just for completing that game, but each level is 1,000 experience. Feel free to do the math yourself. That's a lot of fucking games just for one level. Sure, the challenges might be there, but frankly, some games are going to go without getting a single challenge, and those are the games that suck. Progression also affects customization, and how did you screw it up again? I mean, we all knew it was going to happen, but stupid old me thought, well, maybe they'll change it at the last minute. Just give us a bunch of customization right out the gate. No, you have to get the battle pass to get the customization. And I know some people might be like, well, it's just cosmetic. You know what? I like to look fucking cool in my games when I play them. I don't know if anybody else shares that same opinion, but I want to look like a fucking badass when I play games. So when that progression is locked behind a very grindy battle pass or leveling system, it turns me off because it's just like, yeah, that helmet looks cool, but it's not worth, 4,000 games. It's not worth it. And eventually, and I love how they defend, how this battle pass, once you buy it, you have it forever, you can complete it anytime you want. Well, that's really great, because by the time you complete one battle pass, 2 more are already going to be out. And it's not like you can stack battle passes. That would be a smart idea, but they're not going to do that because, why would they? Let's make this as grindy as possible. That's what it feels like with the progression in this game. I can't even pick what colors my Spartan is. I just want him to be blue and green. Why do I have to unlock blue and green? It was a default color option in Halo 2, 3, Reach, and ODST, and so on and so forth. But it's not here. Can't let them pick that secondary color. Now we gotta make him just pick the one. Solid. Great effort. I also am baffled by the fact that there's no disabling crossplay option. I understand that crossplay is very big and very important, and believe me, I like crossplay just as much as the other guy does. But you know what? Sometimes I don't want to play with PC players. Sometimes I don't want to run into hackers. Sometimes I want to play against console players because the aim assist in Halo Infinite is absolute garbage. It is so bad. And frankly, it makes the game more frustrating than fun. It cripples console players. So, if that aim assist isn't fixed in like a couple months, this is just going to become a PC game only, and anybody who tries to even touch it with the controller is going to get destroyed. Fighting anything at range with the controller is next to impossible. Sniping, that's a joke. Good luck with that, bud. And here's the thing. I am fine with sniping and long-range gunfights being, a challenge. I don't want that to be easy. But when the challenge comes from not being able to control the game properly, that's really a problem. And I know we're going to get into that debate of, oh, well, aim assist is overpowered. Listen here. If I can beat you with my thumb and you're using your whole arm, you're just bad. Now, custom games, I've seen a lot of people having issues. Me personally, I've only ran into a few. But again, it's the same sort of head-scratching errors that make no sense. Sometimes I'll load into a custom game with my friends. I'll start the countdown, and they're still sitting in the lobby while I'm in the game. Or sometimes, this especially on the PC I've noticed, is they'll try to load into the game and it just crashes. Crashes right away. It's not even like it happens from time to time. No, it happens a lot. The next thing on my shit list is that co-op campaign, and Forge have been delayed for an extra 3 months. You guys have had 6 years to develop this game, and you can't even give us Forge and co-op campaign at the start. What were you doing for those 6 years after Halo 5's launch? Were you guys just coming in to work for a couple hours and then leaving? It just baffles me how Halo 3 had a 3-year development cycle and they still got everything in there on launch day. So did ODST and Halo Reach, even Halo 4. It all started with Halo 5 not having split screen at the beginning. What a horrible idea that was. And now there's no online co-op for 9 months after the game's launch. So really, the game's not going to be done until almost 7 years after Halo 5. 7 years in development for a Halo game. That is a joke. That is an embarrassment. That is weak. It seems like they don't care. All they really cared about was the multiplayer. They cared about it too much, in fact, that they forgot that Halo also has a campaign mode, and that campaign was garbage. So something tells me that this campaign is also going to be garbage. I really hope it isn't. When there's no features in a game, especially in a game that is brand new, 2021, and there's hardly anything to do in it, people are going to leave. This game is going to be dead in a year, if that. If it keeps doing shit like this. Here's the thing you have to remember too, because this happened to Halo 5 and it also happened to Halo 4. They lost their player base because there wasn't Halo 4's case was because it wasn't a very good game, but they lost a lot of their player base with Halo 5 because there was nothing else to do in the game. I don't want this to be a repeat of Halo 5, but so far it's been doing just that. And that's really a fucking problem. I don't like that at all. I mean it when I say it, that I don't want this game to fail. I really don't. This is my favorite franchise of all time in gaming. And it annoys me that for every good thing that happens now, there's 10 terrible decisions that are made right behind it.